Welcome to 3ABN Kids Camp, Ready, Set, Explore, where we search nature out and have fun without a doubt. My name is JB Scout, and we're here to talk about some of the gear ready for the water's edge. I want to introduce to you two of our referees here, Amanda and Ramona, and they're going to be helping me out. So one of the things that I want to ask you is when you're at the water's edge, whether it be a river or a lake or maybe the ocean, what are some dangers that we need to worry about? Can anybody tell me? Can you raise your hand? Yes. What?
Sharks?
Sharks, yes. When we get in the water, so you want to be careful there's no little thing on top of the water that's showing that there's a shark. Okay, what else?
Bear.
A bear, that's correct. What else?
Jellyfish.
A jellyfish, very good. Yeah, we were in Cayman one time and Amanda and I were swimming and there was a whole bunch of jellyfish. So in order to not get scared, what we did is we decided to pet it on the top, not underneath. Okay, yes, Jackson.
Sand that you could sink in.
Okay, sinking sand, yep, you need to be very careful. That's very good. Well, we're going to talk about some of these things that we need to be careful about and things that help us enjoy our experience, right? So what about slippery rocks? Have you ever seen slippery rocks? Oh my goodness. So what does a slippery rock look like? Do you know?
Very wet, very wet.
Very wet? What color are they? The green, very good. So when rocks are slippery, they're usually green, and what's on them? Algae, yes. Well, let me get into my story. So my brother and I were going to a stream because we wanted to catch some fish. And we had our net, and we had a glass jar, and we were gonna catch some fish. Well, we got to the lake or the river, and we saw some big rocks. And these rocks had a whole bunch of moss and green stuff on them. But we were so excited about getting into the water that we were walking on these rocks, and all of a sudden, guess what happened? We slipped and I fell, and guess what happened to that glass that was in my hand? It broke with my hand right there. Oh my. So what do you think happened to my hand? What do you think?
Blood everywhere.
Do you think I got bloody? I did. I got a big gash on my finger. You can see this scar on my finger. Yeah, see? See that scar right there? Yeah, that's pretty big. So I almost lost half my hand because I had this glass and I didn't respect the rocks with the moss on it. So my hand was just full of blood, and my brother found a piece of wrapper or plastic, and he wrapped my finger with that. And of course, we had to get home as quickly as possible because I needed to get stitches. So we need to think about these things, right? We need to make sure that when we go to the water's edge that we're thinking about some of these issues or some of these concerns so we don't get hurt. Because we want the experience to be fun, right? Okay, well, here's a couple more questions. What about crossing a stream? Have you ever crossed a stream?
Yeah.
You have? Okay, so tell me raise your hand, who's crossed the stream before? You have? So tell me, what was your experience?
I mean, it was kind of small, so I just jumped across.
You jumped across? Okay, very good. What if it was a wider stream? Okay, yes.
When I go across it, it's kind of big.
Okay.
And I saw tadpoles,
Okay.
minnows. So I had my bathing suit on, so I just walked through it.
So you walked through it, so you didn't sink down, so it wasn't that, it was kind of shallow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but what if it wasn't shallow? Okay, what if it was kind of deep? Do you know how to swim?
I know how to swim.
You need to swim? So what if you couldn't swim and you were walking out into the river? What would happen?
Drown.
Well, you would ask for help, right? So you want to be careful and use common sense and think about these things, right? because you don't want to hurt yourself. And sometimes we get so excited, we want to see what's going on, but we stop and don't think about some dangers. So you want to think about these dangers, okay? Okay, what about wet boots? Have you ever gotten wet boots where you get into the water and you're just having fun? What happens after a while? Tell me.
Socks can get wet.
The socks get, and do you like when your socks get? No, I don't like it either.
Some people like it for some reason.
Well, I'm happy for them, but I don't like it because you hear this squish, squish, squish. Don't like that at all. Okay, what about, is it good to take unnecessary risks?
If you're trying to save somebody.
Okay, do you have other people around you?
Yes.
Okay, it is very important. Yep. Okay, anybody else? Is it good to take unnecessary risks under normal circumstances? What about you, Macy? No? You're right, because when you're out in nature, you could be quite far from a doctor or from any type of medical assistance, right? So you want to be very careful. Okay, well, what about a river and there was a storm way off in the distance and you're going up this stream and you notice that the water coming from this stream is getting more and more water? What do you think you should do?
Run!
You want to run away from the stream, right?
And go to a high street and high place.
High ground.
If you're
That's
in a
right.
canoe and you're in the middle, it's probably better to go the other direction.
Direction, correct.
Maybe sometimes it's not so easy to outrun a storm, but try your best to.
Correct. So you want to go to higher ground and you want to protect yourself because there could be what's called a flash flood. Have you ever heard of those?
Yes.
That's very important. Okay, what about at the ocean? And you've heard tsunamis. Have you heard of a tsunami before?
Yes.
Okay, in the Philippines, they get tsunamis every once in a while. And if you see you're on a beautiful beach and it's just so nice and the water just starts leaving. And it's not like it takes 6 hours to do that. It's happening in a half an hour or an hour. And it goes out 300 yards. What are you going to do?
Run.
You want to run to a high place, right? And because what happens with a tsunami is that water comes back with vengeance, which means it just churns and it will take anything in its path and it will take you down. So you want to get to where? Higher ground. It's very important. Okay, so tell me, what are some of the things that you need and some of the gear that you need on the water's edge? Yes.
Water shoes or hats.
Water shoes, and I'm glad you're looking at my water shoes. So here are some water shoes. Now these are kind of light and they're very helpful. And what's good about these? What's good about?
They let water in, but they don't. I don't know.
Okay, so one of the things is you got a hard surface here, right? And so if you're on rocks or sharp rocks, this will protect you from these sharp rocks, right? So that they're good to have in order to enjoy your experience. Well, what about these type?
Yes.
They're kind of spongy and they're really good to take because they're really light, right? See, aren't they light? They're really light, so you can take these with you. So if you're gonna go around the water and you're gonna go in the water a little bit and you don't wanna get your socks and shoes wet, so what do? You take these, right? So it's kind of neat and it protects you. Okay, what about a hat? Okay.
Just in case it's raining or it's very sunny.
Right? You want a hat? Yes, from sunburn, yes.
Well, it helps you from getting sunburned.
Exactly. And sunburn, after a while, you get red and then it hurts. And then when you sleep that night, do you feel good when you get a sun? Nope, that's for sure. Okay, what about just a baseball cap?
Same thing.
Is this good?
Same usage.
Same use. So a cap kind of helps you with this area, but not your back. So you ever heard someone called a redneck? So where they get red necks in the back? So these are supposed to protect that because it has a little bit of a back. So just remember that. Okay, what about a shirt Now this is a nice bright one. What about a shirt that protects you from the sun too? What do you think? Now, what else can this shirt do?
It can, is it flannelish kind of like?
No, it's very thin. It's for the sun.
Sometimes maybe you could swim in it. That's what I like.
You could swim in it, yep. What else?
It can make you sweat, which makes you cool.
Correct. That's right, very good.
And bright colors take in less heat while darker colors take in more.
Very good. So you want to take lighter colors than darker, right? Because the sun absorbs on the dark. Excellent point. Do you guys have anything? No? Well, the other thing is, what if you get lost? What could you do with this shirt?
I know.
Yes.
You can wear bright colors so people can see it from far away.
Very good. So have you ever seen climbers that they're on the side of a rock and they're wearing like bright red or bright orange or green? Well, that's so people can see them, which is great. Okay, so what about, what's this?
A camp, the tent.
No, but close. So this is a rain jacket. So it's nice and small, and so if a rainstorm comes, you're protected with this small jacket. It's really small, but it's for packing.
My size?
Nope, it's for my size. It's actually, it says large.
I'm wearing a large right here.
Well, maybe then it is for both of us. Okay, how about sunglasses?
To block it from the sun.
Block your eyes from the sun.
Protect your eyes,
Block your
right?
eyes from the
We're not
sun.
getting stung by bees. We're not blah, 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 blah.
Well, yeah, it would protect you from bees too. I mean, yeah, okay. What else?
That's what I was going to say, like it protects you from the sun.
Correct. Protects you from the sun because have you ever heard the Indians call sun a fire? So let me tell you a little story that I had, and wow, things are going really fast. So I was in the Zugspitze on a high mountain in Switzerland, and I was on a glacier skiing, and it was so bright that I couldn't see for the first half an hour. If I had the sunglasses, guess what? I would have been able to see a little bit better. Well, all these things like sun for your lips and also sunscreen is really important. And what this does, it helps your experience to be a lot more fun, right? Because you want to enjoy what you're doing. You don't want to get sunburned. You don't want to get hot, too hot, but you want to protect yourself because you want to go out maybe another day, right? Exactly. Well, let me share a Bible verse with you, and it's found in Philippians 4:19. It says, "And my God shall supply all your needs according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus." Now, Jesus will supply all your needs. Just remember, we need to ask him. And we need to think of him even when we get out ready for a trip, right? So what do you need to add?
I was just gonna say, if you're lost, make sure you have a lot of water, and if you're going on a hike, make sure to have a lot of water.
Absolutely, and we're going to talk about making sure you have water. Yes.
And make sure you bring a fan without using electricity. Just.
Oh yeah. Well, some equipment you may not want to bring because it's heavy, but you know what? Make sure that you plan accordingly, right? Because when you do that, your experience just gets a lot more fun. I want to thank you for joining us at Ready, Set, Explore. Bye-bye.
Bye.